When Dr. Michael Carter, a compassionate ER surgeon, stumbles upon a wounded little girl abandoned on a dark city street, his life takes an unexpected turn. Driven by a sense of duty and empathy, he saves her life and opens his home and heart to her, naming her Lily. But what starts as an act of kindness soon becomes a powerful story of second chances, resilience, and a legacy that will touch countless lives. Over the years, Lily grows into a compassionate doctor herself, using her own pain and strength to help those in need. Together with her adoptive family, she builds a foundation that becomes a beacon of hope around the world. This story, filled with love, healing, and the power of compassion, will remind you that even the smallest act of kindness can change a life forever. It was late one cold November evening when Dr. Michael Carter was driving home after a long shift at New York City's busiest hospital. The streets were eerily quiet, the city's usual hum dampened by the approaching winter. As he passed through a side street, his headlights caught something unusual, a small figure lying by the curb. Michael pulled over and quickly approached. His heart sank as he saw a young girl, no more than 7, shivering and clutching her arm, which was wrapped in a makeshift bandage. Her eyes were glazed with pain, yet her expression was calm, as if she had resigned herself to her fate. "Hey there," he said softly, crouching down. "I'm Dr. Michael Carter. Are you hurt?" The girl looked up at him, her eyes wide. "My name's Lily," she whispered. "My arm. It hurts." Without hesitation, he scooped her up and brought her to his car. "Don't worry, Lily. I'm taking you to the hospital. A late-night operation." As they arrived, Dr. Carter alerted his team and prepped for surgery. Lily's injuries were more severe than he had initially thought. Her arm was fractured, and she had several cuts and bruises that needed urgent care. He operated on her with the same meticulousness he brought to every patient, yet something about her innocence and bravery tugged deeply at his heart. Hours passed, and finally, the surgery was complete. Lily was stable, resting in a small bed as the first rays of dawn crept through the hospital window. Michael felt a profound connection with the little girl, as though he was meant to find her that night. A discovery at home. Exhausted, Dr. Carter finally drove home. His wife, Rachel, met him at the door, her face worried but understanding. "Long night?" she asked, noticing the fatigue in his eyes. "You could say that," he replied. "I found a little girl last night, alone on the street. Her name is Lily, and she's been through a lot." As he spoke, his voice cracked slightly, and Rachel placed a comforting hand on his shoulder. "What happened to her family?" Rachel asked softly. Michael shook his head. "She hasn't said much yet, but I feel like there's more to her story. I think she's been alone for a while." Rachel's compassionate heart was instantly moved. "Maybe we can help her, Michael. No child should be alone." A new chapter begins. Over the next few days, Michael and Rachel visited Lily often, bringing her books and toys, hoping to make her feel safe. Gradually, Lily opened up about her past, sharing bits and pieces of her story. She had lost her parents in a car accident months before, and without anyone to turn to, she had been wandering, hoping to find shelter and safety. Michael and Rachel couldn't bear the thought of her going back to the streets. They began to make arrangements, exploring the process of becoming her legal guardians. It wasn't easy, but they were driven by a deep love and sense of purpose. A Christmas miracle. By Christmas, Lily was home with the Carters, her bright spirit filling their lives with joy. On Christmas morning, as they gathered around the tree, Lily looked up at them, her eyes filled with gratitude and love. "Thank you," she whispered, clutching the small, handmade bracelet she'd crafted as a gift for them. "You've given me a family again." Rachel hugged her tightly, while Michael looked on, feeling the true weight of that night he'd found her. It was more than an act of duty, it was destiny. The years went by, and Lily grew up, becoming a vibrant, compassionate young woman, inspired by her adoptive parents. Dr. Carter continued his work, but now with a heart fuller than he ever thought possible, all because of a little girl he found on a cold November night. And every year on that anniversary, the Carters would gather together, sharing a quiet moment, thankful for the miracle that had made them a family. As Lily grew older, her gratitude blossomed into a profound desire to give back. Inspired by Michael's kindness and Rachel's volunteer work, she dreamed of becoming a doctor, just like her adoptive father. Michael and Rachel encouraged her at every step, seeing in her a light that could touch countless lives. Lily's resilience carried her through school and eventually medical college. She studied tirelessly, motivated by the hope of helping others who were lost and alone, just as she had been. Her experiences gave her a unique empathy and understanding, and she quickly became known for her compassionate bedside manner. On the day of her graduation, Michael and Rachel were in the front row, beaming with pride. As Lily received her diploma, she looked out at them, her heart swelling with love and gratitude. They had given her not only a home but a purpose, a calling to make a difference in the world. A full-circle moment. Lily's first assignment as a resident was in the same ER where Dr. Michael Carter had saved her all those years ago. She remembered every detail of the hospital, the sterile smell, the hum of the machines, the way the nurses had comforted her in her fragile state. One chilly November night, not unlike the one when Michael had found her, Lily was nearing the end of her shift when an urgent call came in. A child, abandoned and injured, was brought in, much like she had been. Lily's heart raced as she moved swiftly to help, remembering her own story and the kindness that had saved her life. The child, a little boy with wide, fearful eyes, looked up at her as she knelt down beside him. "Don't be afraid," she whispered. "I know how it feels to be alone. You're safe now." As she treated him, she felt a surge of gratitude for the night that had changed her life and set her on this path. She could almost feel her father's presence beside her, guiding her hands, reminding her that compassion and love could heal even the deepest wounds. A legacy of kindness. Lily continued her career with a reputation for being not just a skilled doctor but a compassionate healer. She knew that her journey was a testimony to the power of love and second chances. Every November, she joined her parents to celebrate the anniversary of the night that had united them as a family. In their home, now filled with warmth and memories, they would sit by the fireplace, sharing stories of lives they had touched. It became a family tradition, a celebration not only of love but of hope, resilience, and the beautiful way that lives can intertwine. As the years went by, Lily and Michael started a foundation to help homeless and abandoned children, honoring the night that had changed their lives. Together, they created a legacy of kindness, a legacy that would last far beyond their time, reminding the world that one act of compassion can light a spark that never fades. And so, Dr. Michael Carter's simple act of stopping on a cold November night became the beginning of a story that would inspire generations, a reminder that love has the power to transform lives in ways we may never fully understand. As the years passed, the Carter Foundation for Children became renowned across the country. With Michael, Rachel, and Lily at its heart, the foundation not only provided medical care to children in need, but also offered shelter, counseling, and opportunities for education. Their mission was clear: to ensure that no child would ever feel alone or forgotten. Lily poured her heart into this work, blending her medical expertise with her personal experiences to connect deeply with every child who came through their doors. She would often sit with the children, sharing her story to help them realize that there was hope beyond their current struggles. Her compassion became a source of strength for others, a reminder that they, too, could overcome their past and build a brighter future. A new generation. As the foundation grew, Lily began to train and mentor new doctors and volunteers, instilling in them the values that her parents had taught her: to treat each person with respect, to listen with empathy, and to heal with love. Many of these young doctors were inspired by her story, choosing to join the foundation out of a desire to make a difference. One of Lily's protégés was a young man named Evan, who, like Lily, had grown up in difficult circumstances and felt the call to help others. Under her guidance, he became one of the Foundation's most devoted doctors. Together, they expanded the Foundation's reach, setting up mobile clinics to reach children in remote and underserved areas. Evan often remarked how Lily's story reminded him of the resilience of the human spirit, and together, they continued to spread hope and healing. The Night of Lights. Every November, to commemorate the night that had brought them together, the Foundation organized an event called the Night of Lights. Held on the same street where Dr. Carter had found Lily, the event was a celebration of second chances and new beginnings. Hundreds of families, children, and supporters would gather, each holding a candle, creating a sea of lights that illuminated the night. Lily would speak at the event, sharing her story with the crowd. She reminded everyone that each of them had the power to be a light for someone else, to reach out and change a life with kindness. Her words were simple yet powerful, inspiring countless people to join the Foundation's mission. On one particularly beautiful night of lights, Michael, now older and moving a bit slower but with the same warmth in his eyes, watched Lily as she addressed the crowd. He felt an overwhelming pride, not only in his daughter but in the life they had built together, a life that had transformed so many. As the crowd raised their candles, he looked at Rachel, who gave his hand a gentle squeeze. "We couldn't have asked for a greater legacy," she whispered. "A life well lived." Years later, when Michael and Rachel passed on, Lily continued their work with the same dedication, honoring her parents' memory by keeping the Foundation alive and thriving. The Carter legacy became synonymous with hope and compassion, a testament to how a single act of kindness could ripple outward, touching lives in ways that could never have been imagined. Under Lily's leadership, the Carter Foundation became a beacon of hope for children across the nation. People from all walks of life joined the mission, volunteering, donating, and sharing their own stories of resilience and kindness. The Foundation's motto, "One light can change the world," became an inspiration to countless others. A new beginning. One evening, after finishing her shift, Lily found herself walking down that familiar street, now filled with bright murals and laughter from children playing outside the Foundation's main shelter. She felt a sense of peace as she watched the children, each of them filled with hope and dreams for the future. As she stood there, she heard a quiet voice behind her. "Dr. Lily." She turned to see a young girl, about 7 years old, looking up at her with a mixture of awe and gratitude. The girl had just been brought to the shelter, alone and scared, but filled with a resilience that reminded Lily so much of herself. Lily knelt down, smiling. "Hey there, sweetheart. I'm Dr. Lily. Don't worry, you're safe now." And as she hugged the girl, she realized that her parents' legacy would live on, not just in her, but in every child who found their way to safety, hope, and a new beginning. In that moment, she felt her parents' love surrounding her, and she knew that this story, a story of love, compassion, and second chances, would continue for generations to come, a legacy of light that would never fade. As the years went on, Lily poured every bit of her heart and energy into the Foundation. The Carter Foundation became known worldwide, not only for the medical care it provided, but also for the loving community it fostered. The Foundation created scholarship programs, mentorship initiatives, and arts programs for children, helping them realize their potential and build brighter futures. One day, Lily met a young woman named Maya, who had recently joined as a volunteer. Maya's background mirrored Lily's. She, too, had been abandoned as a child and found her way to the Carter Foundation during her most vulnerable years. Maya had grown up inspired by the Foundation story and knew she wanted to be part of it. Working under Lily, she found her calling in social work, dedicating her life to guiding others through hardship and into hope, just as Lily had done for so many. A new era begins. As Lily neared retirement, She started to transition her leadership role to Maya and a dedicated team of individuals who had come up through the Foundation's programs. It was a bittersweet time, but Lily knew that the Carter Foundation was ready to step into a new chapter under Maya's care. Maya's dedication and understanding brought a fresh, compassionate perspective to the organization. Lily spent her final day as director reflecting on the journey that had started on a cold November night so many years ago. She walked through the halls of the Foundation's main center, now bustling with children laughing, learning, and playing. She felt a profound sense of fulfillment knowing that the Foundation would continue to change lives even after she stepped back. Before officially passing the torch, Lily hosted one final night of light celebration. The event had grown over the years, and now thousands of people gathered in cities across the world to join in the tradition. Candles were lit everywhere, from the streets of New York to small villages overseas. Each flame represented a story of resilience, of kindness, of lives changed by compassion. A farewell speech. That night, Lily stood before the crowd with Maya by her side, overwhelmed by the sea of lights around them. In her farewell speech, she spoke from her heart. Many years ago, on a night like this, someone took a chance on a little girl, lost and alone. That act of kindness changed my life, and it taught me that each one of us has the power to make a difference, to be a light for someone else. To all of you here, to everyone who has supported this mission, thank you. Thank you for believing in this vision and carrying forward a legacy of love. And to my parents, who first showed me the way, I hope you see what your kindness has brought to the world. With that, Lily handed Maya a small, handcrafted lantern, symbolizing the passing of her legacy. She smiled, a few tears in her eyes, as she watched Maya take it with pride and reverence. The crowd erupted in applause, their cheers echoing through the streets. A life fulfilled. In the years that followed, Lily remained close to the Foundation, visiting often, giving talks, and mentoring new volunteers. But she also took time to rest, reflecting on her journey and finding peace in the knowledge that the work she and her parents had started would continue to grow. The Carter Foundation thrived under Maya's leadership, expanding its reach to touch even more lives across the globe. Maya brought new initiatives, introducing technology to remote communities, mental health programs, and partnerships with other organizations, making a difference on an unprecedented scale. Lily watched with pride, her heart full, knowing that the Foundation's mission was in safe hands. A final celebration. Many years later, at the Foundation's 50th anniversary, Lily, now older but still vibrant in spirit, attended one last night of lights. This time, she was not the only one who spoke. Dozens of children and adults, all beneficiaries of the Foundation, shared their stories of how the Carter Foundation had given them a second chance. The impact of the Foundation had touched so many, and the air was filled with love and gratitude. As the candles were lit, Lily closed her eyes, letting the warmth of the flames surround her. She felt her parents' presence, her father's steady strength and her mother's gentle touch. She knew that they would always be a part of her, just as she would always be a part of this Foundation. And as she looked out over the crowd, at the thousands of lights burning brightly in the night, she felt an immense peace. Her story, once a single flame in the dark, had become a beacon that would continue to guide others long after her time. Lily passed away peacefully a few years later, surrounded by friends, family, and countless lives she had touched. The Carter Foundation continued to honor her legacy, celebrating Lily Carter Day each year on the night she had first been found. Her story was shared with new generations, reminding them of the power of kindness and resilience. And so, Dr. Michael Carter's legacy lived on, in every light that was kindled, in every heart that was healed, and in every life that was changed. The Foundation became a symbol of hope across the world, a testament that one act of love can create an enduring legacy that shines forever. In the years that followed, the Carter Foundation became a global force of compassion, symbolizing hope, love, and second chances. Lily's story was shared in classrooms, hospitals, and shelters worldwide, inspiring countless people to believe that love could overcome even the darkest of circumstances. One final night of lights was held in Lily's honor, just a year after she had passed away peacefully, surrounded by family and friends. This celebration, however, was different from any before it. People gathered not just in New York, but all over the world, each person lighting a candle in memory of Lily, her parents, and the legacy they had left behind. Thousands of lights illuminated the night, creating a river of warmth and hope. Children and adults held their candles close, their faces reflecting the glow, their hearts connected to the story that had changed so many lives. In New York, where it had all begun, Maya took to the stage to address the gathering, her voice breaking slightly as she spoke of the woman who had been both her mentor and her hero. "She taught us that a single act of kindness can change the course of someone's life," Maya said, looking out at the crowd. "Lily showed us that each one of us carries a light, that we all have the power to reach out and lift someone from darkness." As she finished, the crowd fell silent, each person taking a moment to remember their own reason for being there. Slowly, one by one, people raised their candles high, creating a sea of light stretching as far as the eye could see. In that moment, it was as if Lily herself was there, smiling down on them, her spirit forever woven into the lives she had touched. Her story, once a quiet flicker of hope, had grown into a blazing light that would never fade. And so, in that beautiful silence, under the stars, the Carter Foundation continued to shine, a living testament to the power of love, a love that had begun with a single act of kindness on a cold November night, and would live on, guiding and healing forever. Join us as we journey through this inspiring story of hope, resilience, and the incredible power of kindness. Don't miss out on this heartwarming tale that shows how one act of compassion can change the world. Subscribe, share, and be part of a community that believes in the light we can bring into each other's lives. Together, let's spread hope.